2008. A year of record-breaking musical moments, fascinating feats of science, and a whole lot of high-profile crime.
I liked it personally. I loved it!
Plus, we saw historical presidential election, the Beijing Olympics, and tons of game-changing pop culture. Well, and Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. So, yeah. Today, we're going to talk about the news, culture, sports, entertainment, and all that was weird in 2008. This is Timeline. You better hold on tight, Spider Monkey. This is 2008. But before we get started, be sure to subscribe to the Weird History channel and let us know in the comments below what other mid-2000s memories you hold dear. Now, get ready to be so 2008.
What you gonna do about Ghostbusters?
What is that?
That's the Ghostbusters theme song.
On the very first day of the year, New Hampshire made headlines for legalizing same-sex unions. The bill had actually been signed back in May 2007 by Governor John Lynch, but didn't go into effect until the new year. This made New Hampshire the first state to accept same-sex unions without a court order or legal threat.
You know the business, and I know the chemistry. I'm thinking maybe you and I could partner up. Either that, or I turn you in.
An omen of an impending recession, the global stock market suffered a serious crash, resulting in another Black Monday on January 21st.
The stock market is now down 21%.
Because we're now down 43%.
European stocks saw their worst one-day results since 9/11, and Asian stocks plummeted as much as 15%.
Now, I know I worked really hard. It's easy for people to just say, oh, it's luck, you know, and maybe it is.
One day later, the world lost a big screen icon. Heath Ledger, who was only 28 years old when he passed from an accidental drug overdose, had starred in movies like 1999's 10 Things I Hate About You, 2001's A Knight's Tale, and 2005's Brokeback Mountain. But audiences would come to know him best for a movie that was about to be released posthumously.
Heath Ledger has left us an original and enduring legacy.
It's Grammy's 50th birthday, and everybody's coming to the party.
The 50th Grammy Awards took place on February 10th. Amy Winehouse cleaned up, winning 5 awards, including Song of the Year for Rehab, to which the Grammys did not say no, no, no. And jazz pianist Herbie Hancock won Album of the Year with his tribute to Joni Mitchell called River, the Joni Letters.
What a beautiful day this is in Los Angeles.
1 week later, Kosovo formally announced its independence from Serbia after 3 years of talks initiated by the UN. With Russia's backing, Serbia called the move illegal, and many Serbs living in Kosovo vehemently opposed it. But that didn't stop the fledgling nation from seceding on February 17th. After a heated battle against Sony's Blu-ray disc, Toshiba recalled its HD DVDs and put an end to the technological format war for good. Thanks to companies like Walmart and Netflix picking up Blu-rays, as well as PlayStation consoles using the tech, Sony found themselves with a significant edge in the market. And so Toshiba had no choice but to call it quits. Good thing everyone still uses physical media, right? After 49 years in power, Fidel Castro announced his retirement as the president of Cuba after surgery for intestinal bleeding left him in a state of deteriorated health. The National Assembly of People's Power voted unanimously for Castro's brother, Raul, to take his place, which he happily did until 2018. Fidel himself remained an active member of Cuban politics until his 2016 death at the age of 91. His ashes were entombed in the Santa Ifigenia Cemetery in Santiago de Cuba after 9 days of public mourning. The online video platform Hulu launched for public access on March 12th.
We've created Hulu. Hulu beams TV directly to your portable computing devices anytime, anywhere, for free.
After 4.5 months of beta testing, the site was finally ready for wide release, with TV shows like The Simpsons and Miami Vice available alongside NBA and NHL games.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's not my position to burden you people with the ugly details of this Elliot Spitzer nonsense. It just seems like the more we find out about this, the uglier and nastier it becomes.
How much worse could it get?
Well, here, I'm going to show you.
Due to immense pressure from his colleagues and the general public, New York Governor Eliot Spitzer stepped down from office after a scandal involving him and an escort agency was unearthed.
I've begun to atone for my private failings with my wife, Soda, my children, and my entire family.
David Patterson replaced Spitzer, making him both New York's first black and blind governor.
Satisfy your hunger fast with new Chef Boyardee mac and cheese. It's made with real cheese sauce and made to tame the beast.
After 6 years of marriage, Paul McCartney, the bassist from the Beatles, divorced his then-wife, Heather Mills. The couple had a daughter together, and though McCartney paid almost $50 million in the settlement, Mills was not happy. After the judge disagreed with the claim that McCartney restricted Mills' career, she poured a jug of water on McCartney's solicitor in the middle of the courtroom. Unsurprisingly, that did not help her case. The small Himalayan kingdom of Bhutan became a democracy after a century under a monarchy on March 24th. 79% of the 320,000 registered voters showed up to the polls and abolished the absolute monarchy after the nation's king pushed for change. The Bhutan Peace and Prosperity Party took the majority of the 47 parliamentary seats, with the People's Democratic Party winning the remaining few. Later that month, Aloha Airlines said aloha to its 61 years of business when it announced it would be permanently ending passenger services.
This is a celebration of a fabulous, fabulous ohana. One last time, you guys, here we go.
The airline, which serviced Hawaii, as you probably guessed, could not compete with larger companies and was struggling to make ends meet due to the rising price of jet fuel.
Thanks for making your choice, Aloha Airlines, mahalo, and welcome on board.
Speaking of Blue Hawaii...
Hi. Mariah Carey.
Mariah Carey's song, Touch My Body, soared to the #1 spot on Billboard's Hot 100 and made music industry history. With its success, the pop singer had accumulated 18 chart-topping hits, beating out Elvis Presley for the world record. In other words, Mariah Carey is much more than a hound dog. One day later, more music history was made when Beyoncé and Jay-Z got married. The ceremony was held in secret, but the details of their relationship were anything but. And since their wedding, the marriage has been rife with cheating scandals and acclaimed albums about those cheating scandals. But they celebrated their 16th anniversary in 2024. When you're crazy in love, you're crazy in love. On April 5th, Academy Award-winning actor Charlton Heston passed away in the company of his wife, Lydia. The 84-year-old left behind a son and daughter, as well as an impressive filmography.
Yes, Gordon Street.
Starring in movies like 1959's Ben-Hur, 1968's Planet of the Apes, and 1973's Soylent Green. The fourth installment in the Grand Theft Auto series became an immediate sensation. The video game, which was critically acclaimed despite its controversially violent content, was not only the highest-grossing video game release of all time, but the highest-grossing entertainment product ever released. It would only be dethroned by its own successor when Grand Theft Auto V made $6 billion in revenue, outselling not just every video game ever made, but also movie giants like Gone with the Wind, Star Wars, and Avatar. GTA really made a killing, and a stealing, and every other crime you can do in the game. April of 2008 ended in a grimly interesting way, thanks to a pair of previously discovered remains near Yekaterinburg in Russia. Using DNA testing, forensic scientists were able to deduce that the remains were of Grand Duchess Anastasia Nikolaevna and her brother Alexei Nikolaevich. Anastasia was long rumored to have escaped. Over the years, several women had claimed to be the long-lost Grand Duchess, with the legend ultimately inspiring an animated film and a stage musical. This discovery put the rumors to bed for good, but at least we got some catchy tunes.
Honestly, expect us to believe that that was a bodyguard in a suit.
It is one thing to question the official story and another thing entirely to make wild accusations or insinuate that I'm a superhero. Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Seth MacFarlane, known for creating animated shows like Family Guy and American Dad, made the deal of the century literally.
Yes, we won the lottery!
On May 4th, he signed a deal with 20th Century Fox to become TV's highest-paid writer in history. For $100 million, Fox was able to keep MacFarlane and his TV shows on their network for another 4 years.
What's exciting about Seth MacFarlane making, what is it, like $100 million, is that now I have a goal, I have a focus on who I'm going to sleep with.
I don't know what to do with that much money. I'll put it in the bank. That's the responsible thing to do.
I'm a banana! Happened to your clothes? I'm a banana!
I burned.
We both enjoyed that. Now I want you to introduce my greatest creation, the new Toasty Torpedo.
The new Toasty Torpedo?
Yes, Scott. You make one.
Me?
Put it in me, Scott. It's over a foot of Quiznos flavor on Slim Sleek ciabatta for only $4. Say it, Scott.
Only $4?
Say it sexy.
Only $4?
Sexier.
Only $4.
11 days later, same-sex marriage was legalized in the state, making it the second U.S. state after Massachusetts in 2004 to solidify the equal rights of gay couples.
The fact that some people would like to undo our I do makes me very sad.
The news came after an attempted ban on same-sex marriage was struck down by the court in San Francisco.
Marion Ravenwood is your mother.
Oh, for God's sake, Indy.
No, I mean, I never thought that you...
I would have a life after you left.
That's not what I meant.
A damn good life.
Well, so have I.
Yeah? You still leaving a trail of human wreckage?
You looking for a date?
With anybody but you.
Apparently, following Bhutan's example, Nepal ended its 240-year-old monarchy and became a federal democratic republic on May 28. In the subsequent election, the Maoists, or the Unified Communist Party of Nepal, became the majority party. A tragic fire struck the Universal Studio Hollywood theme park and studio backlot on the 1st of June after a worker used a blowtorch to heat asphalt shingles.
Fortunately, nothing irreplaceable was lost. We have duplicates, and obviously there's a lot of work to replicate.
The disaster destroyed a horde of master recordings from artists like Billie Holiday and Judy Garland, archived film copies, and several iconic fixtures of the backlot. Additionally, the fake New York street used in countless productions, the Back to the Future clock tower, and a popular King Kong-themed attraction were all lost. 3 weeks later, noted comedian George Carlin passed away at the age of 71 from heart failure.
Yeah, dying shouldn't be that bad. It shouldn't be that bad. We're all going to do it. It's one of the few fair things in life. Everybody catches it once.
Carlin was well known for his poignant comedy, social commentary, and political satire.
Oh, we know what they want. They want more for themselves and less for everybody else. But I'll tell you what they don't want. They don't want a population of citizens capable of critical thinking.
His 7 dirty words routine remains one of the most iconoclastic and influential routines to ever grace the stage. From the death of a legend to the end of an era, Bill Gates announced he was stepping down from his position as Microsoft's chairman on June 27th.
And so this will be the first time since I was 17 that I won't have my full-time Microsoft job.
Then President Steve Ballmer replaced the company founder and remained in power until 2014. Gates, for his part, took on a part-time role at Microsoft to spend more time on his charity work with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation.
Never doubt the magic of software.
And to cap off the month, the world witnessed a scientific marvel as the first ever pregnant transgender man gave birth to a healthy baby girl. Thomas Beatty, living in Bend, Oregon, chose to become pregnant via donor sperm since his wife, Nancy, was unable to conceive due to a prior hysterectomy. The story became a news sensation, and Beatty would go on to advocate for trans and reproductive rights. In a sibling rivalry for the ages, Venus and Serena Williams faced off on July 5th for the Wimbledon Singles Championship. Defending her title, Venus had a lot to lose to her little sister, but lucky for her, she came out on top, marking her 5th win at Wimbledon. The Belgian-owned InBev was already the world's largest brewing company before acquiring Anheuser-Busch for a cool $52 billion.
I think it's a horrible move on Anheuser-Busch's part.
It disgusts me.
It's a happy day in Belgium.
After the merger, the company became a veritable titan of industry with around 300 brands on tap, including Budweiser, Bud Light, and Stella Artois.
Criminals in this town used to believe in things. Honor. Respect. Look at you. What do you believe in, huh? What do you believe in?
I believe whatever doesn't kill you simply makes you stranger.
Radovan Karadzic, or the Butcher of Bosnia, was the president of Republika Srpska, during the Bosnian War in the mid-90s. After being indicted for war crimes, he fled and lay in hiding for years before finally being arrested on July 21, 2008. He was extradited to the Netherlands and charged with 11 counts of war crimes and crimes against humanity. But that's not where his story ends. 8 years later, at 70 years old, Karadzic was finally found guilty of the Srebrenica massacre and sentenced to 40 years in prison.
The chamber hereby sentences you, Radovan Karadzic, to a single sentence of 40 years of imprisonment,
which would later be amended to a life sentence.
Arrested for prostitution. I can't believe it, Sophia. Sophia, we're innocent. I know that. I can't believe these dumb cops would think anyone would pay money to sleep with you.
Estelle Getty, best known for her role as Sophia Petrillo on The Golden Girls, died on July 22, 2008. At 84 years old, Getty suffered from dementia but passed peacefully in her Hollywood home surrounded by family. Thank you for being a friend, Estelle.
All right, we've already figured out how to do this. The beds match up perfectly. And here's the thing, it'll give us so much extra space in our room to do activities. Please say yes.
You don't need permission from us to build bunk beds. You're adults.
Hey, I never asked you. Yeah. You like guacamole?
The following month, the Summer Olympics kicked off in Beijing. 11,000 athletes from 200 national Olympic committees congregated in China's capital city and celebrated the 26th occurrence of the modern Olympic Games. Afghanistan, Mauritius, Tajikistan, and Togo brought home their first ever medals during the Games, and India, Mongolia, and Panama each took home their first gold. Meanwhile, American swimmer Michael Phelps set the record for most gold medals won in a single instance of the Olympics. Founded by Brian Chesky, Joe Gebbia, and Nathan Blacharczyk, the short-term rental company Airbnb launched in August of 2008, originally taking shape as airbedandbreakfast.com. Whoever came up with the acronym deserves a raise. The company saw its first customers during an industrial design conference, where attendees were having trouble finding nearby accommodations. Since those humble beginnings, Airbnb has grown into a worldwide service, bridging the gaps between millions of hosts and travelers every year. Pop diva Lady Gaga shocked the world when she dropped her first studio album called The Fame on August 19th. Gaga was an immediate sensation thanks to her catchy music and striking appearance, and the album was a huge financial success. At the 52nd Annual Grammy Awards, Gaga's debut album won Best Electronic/Dance Album, and her smash single, Poker Face, won Best Dance Recording. Guess they could read her, yes, they could read her Poker Face.
Both of them are exactly at 120 volt AC.
Hi, welcome to Progressive.com. How can I help you?
Well, I haven't shopped for car insurance in a while.
And you're worried that you've been paying too much, right?
Yeah.
We can compare your Progressive Direct rate with other top companies.
Seriously?
Yeah. Look at the deal we just got him.
That's a new pair of shoes.
Yeah, or a big tricked out name tag.
Making sure you get a great deal. Now that's Progressive.
In the last days of August 2008, Senator Barack Obama became the first African American to be nominated by a major political party for President of the United States.
Lincoln said to a nation far more divided than ours, "We are not enemies, but friends. Though passion may have strained, it must not break our bonds of affection."
His battle for the presidency was just beginning, but we'll check in on that in a bit.
In Alexander Dumas' book, what was the name of the third musketeer? Watch it. I guess you know the answer.
Do you believe it? I don't.
I want to shake your hand. Thank you, sir. Here. How many bombs have you disarmed?
873.
873. 873. What's the best way to go about disarming one of these things?
The way you don't die, sir.
That's a good one.
After 5,123 performances, 4 Tony Awards, 7 Drama Desk Awards, and the Pulitzer Prize for Drama, Rent finally closed at the Nederlander Theater in New York. The show, created by the late Jonathan Larson, ran for 12 years, but was especially relevant in 2008 during the housing crisis. Speaking of which, the world was hit with the worst economic freefall since the Great Depression during the global financial crisis, which reached a devastating turning point on September 15th, when the international financial services firm Lehman Brothers filed for bankruptcy on over $600 billion of assets. Beginning in 2007, a combination of the U.S. residential real estate bubble, high-risk practices by private and public institutions around the globe, and widespread dealings with financial derivatives based on risky subprime mortgages that targeted low-income borrowers led to a worldwide financial collapse, sending countless banks and financial institutions into bankruptcy almost instantly, and bursting the housing bubble in the U.S. At the time, Lehman Brothers was the fourth largest investment bank in America. Their historic bankruptcy filing triggered the biggest drop in the stock market since the terrorist attacks in 2001. 7 years later, the crisis would be dramatized in the 2015 film The Big Short. Based on the 2010 book by Michael Lewis, the film features an ensemble cast using a blend of comedy and true-life research to explain the complicated economic causes behind the collapse.
So whenever you hear subprime, think
SpaceX's fourth Falcon 1 rocket became the world's first privately developed space launch vehicle to successfully make orbit on September 28. The 70-foot-tall rocket was carrying a 364-pound mass of aluminum meant to simulate a satellite, which they successfully delivered to space after 3 failed attempts to do so. O.J. Simpson was acquitted for the slayings of his ex-wife Nicole Brown Simpson and her friend Ronald Goldman back in 1995, but he wouldn't escape the naked gun of the law entirely. On October 3, 2008, Simpson was found guilty of robbery and kidnapping after an incident in Las Vegas.
Count 1, conspiracy to commit a crime, guilty. Count 2, conspiracy to commit kidnapping, guilty.
The former NFL legend conspired with an accomplice to intimidate and rob a dealer selling memorabilia from Simpson's time with the Buffalo Bills. Simpson was sentenced to a maximum of 33 years in prison, with an opportunity for parole in 2017, which was indeed granted on October 1st of that year. The very next day, tech executive Sheryl Sandberg became Facebook's second highest-ranking employee under founder Mark Zuckerberg after she was brought on as the company's COO. The former vice president of global online sales and operations at Google is often credited for making Facebook profitable, and she maintained her position as COO for 14 years before finally stepping down in 2022. Spotify made its first playlist on the 7th of October. Founded by Daniel Ek and Martin Lawrenson in Stockholm, Sweden, the music streaming platform began its life as an invite-only service and was free to use with ads and limited features. Paid users enjoyed the full feature list as well as ad-free listening, though it was only available in European countries at the time. Today, Spotify is available worldwide and was the 47th most visited website in the world in December of 2023. After $8 billion and several years, the Large Hadron Collider was officially inaugurated in Geneva, Switzerland on October 21st, though it wouldn't be fully operational until the following year. The LHC lives up to its name. As the world's largest and most powerful particle accelerator, the LHC was built so physicists could study theories on particles and the subatomic realm. Listen, we've seen the subatomic realm, and it wasn't great. Prolific novelist and author of Jurassic Park, Michael Crichton passed away on November 4th at the age of 66 after a battle with lymphoma. In addition to bringing dinosaurs back from extinction, Crichton co-created the long-running medical drama ER, and many of his other novels were adapted into films. Wesley Snipes is in one of them.
We're playing that most American of games.
Which is what?
Catch 'em.
That same day, Barack Obama defeated Republican candidate Senator John McCain to become President of the United States.
That out of many we are one, that while we breathe, we hope, and those who tell us that we can't, we will respond with that timeless creed that sums up the spirit of a people. Yes, we can.
Garnering 365 electoral votes and nearly 53% of the popular vote, Obama served 2 terms from 2009 to 2017. Not one to be outdone by her musical colleagues, Taylor Swift released her second studio album, Fearless, and officially launched herself into stardom. Fearless debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200 and spent 11 non-consecutive weeks there, making it the longest run of the 2000s. Fearless would go on to win Billboard's Album of the Year and an American Music Award in 2009.
To the fans, thank you so much.
as well as the Grammy for the Album of the Year in 2010. What a love story.
Your scent is like a drug to me. You're like my own personal brand of heroin. I still don't know if I can control myself.
I know you can.
Illinois Governor Rod Blagojevich was arrested on corruption charges after a 5-year investigation of his administration.
It was a phone call from me to the governor advising him that we had a warrant for his arrest.
Blagojevich and his chief of staff, John Harris, were accused of conspiring to commit mail and wire fraud, in addition to influence peddling in a deal involving the Chicago Tribune. The governor was found guilty and sentenced to 14 years in federal prison. Somehow, his helmet hair avoided charges. To cap off the year, billionaire financier Bernard "Bernie" Madoff was arrested and charged with masterminding a long-running Ponzi scheme off the back of his more legitimate trading firm business on December 11th. The scheme was estimated to have generated around $65 billion over multiple decades. And in a twist worthy of a fictionalized crime drama, it wouldn't have become known at all if it weren't for Madoff's sons, who turned him in. And with that, 2008 is so 2000 and late. We suffered through a recession, saw many world firsts, and witnessed the court system at work. But in the end, we brought home the gold. Now get ready to have a bunch of songs stuck in your head because next year is full of pop music icons. Or if TV shows are more your style, get ready to hum the Parks and Rec theme and sing along with a cast of Glee. But that is all for next year.
I'm in your head, bro. Get ready.
Coming soon, 2009. So what do you think? Was 2008 a year for the history books? Let us know in the comments below, and while you're at it, check out some of these other timeline videos.